Everybody's wrong about the Freddy rework, and I'm here to tell you why. Freddy is ultimately weaker as a result of the current rework that we have. And honestly, by the time that some time passes and people start to get used to Freddy, he's going to drop down in the tier list very, very heavily. And we're most likely going to see it happen. The rework really did not provide much of a change for him. The dream snares are fantastic, by the way. I want to preface that. The dream snares are a fantastic change. Like, it's way more useful and way more interesting to actually, sort of fire it as a projectile. It can go up and down slopes, things of that nature. Those are great. Absolutely, you can actually use it quite well in chase and put people to sleep a little bit quicker and things like that. Very nice. The massive issue that I want to bring up here is going to be the dream pallets. The dream pallets are simply put probably an afterthought when coming down to, swapping between the two. You are quite literally not going to really need to even use the pallets at all. You really have no incentive to do so. They're very weak, and I'm going to give you a few points as to why. Number one, all right, and the most important issue that we have with the dream pallet is that it glows pink, it bleeds, and it's very bright. So any survivor awake or asleep can see that pallet glowing, bleeding, and will know, okay, no, that's a dream pallet. Let me not go in that direction. But say they do, right? Say they do. They will not take damage. They will not take damage at all, because the detonation is as slow as it is. The range is as short as it is. People are able to outrun the blast. So even if you time it the way that you need to, which goes back into another point that I have, which is going to be that even if you time it correctly, they're going to speed right past the range and not take a hit and not take any sleep meter. Third point that you probably saw in the gameplay in the background, you get stunned by your own dream pallets. And that includes if you pick up a survivor under your own dream pallet, they will be able to save. They will be able to save their teammate by using your own pallet against you. Not only that, but then there's also another aspect I need to include, which is going to be the fact that playing current Freddy is very, very clunky. Swapping between the abilities has a couple of seconds of delay. For example, when using the snare, if you charge it up and cancel it, it actually pauses the charging for like about a second. So if you press it like multiple times, it's going to only charge it once, then stop, then start to charge it again. And it can be kind of annoying to kind of use and try to swap between the two. And this can be very irritating to deal with, especially when you are dealing with survivors who are very good. Because when you are trying to use like the current reworked Freddy and you're trying to use all your tools, you're gonna be kind of like sort of shambling around trying to or scrambling rather trying to get the right inputs in time, because you need to like put in over 3 more inputs than you used to with the original dream pallets. Originally with the dream pallets as an add-on, you were able to press one button and instantly just place it down. With the rework, you have to take 2 or 3 inputs depending if you're already on snares. So you would have to press from snare to swap it, then press another button so you can actually get to the pallet and actually charge it up so you can then focus on it. Then you need to actually press the other button to actually place the damn pallet, and then you need another button to actually detonate the actual trap. And the main issue is that in the speed that you have to deal with in Dead by Daylight, because things, time is of the essence in Dead by Daylight especially, you are not able to get the right timing consistently because of these little delays between like button pressings in terms of swapping abilities. And we already have characters that swap abilities very easily, such as Clown. A perfect example that has a similar concept. A press of a button instantly swaps your bottles. A press of a button. Instantly, you could just throw your ability out. But with this, it's like, it's for some reason, it has just a long delay. Now, in consideration to what people may say, like, oh, Freddy's just like a setup killer now with his stream pallets, so you need to corral them into your traps. The biggest issues are, as I've stated before, how easy it is for them to be able to see the pallet, to dispatch the pallet. Mind you that awake and the sleep survivors can both see that pallet sitting there. Now, what I'm using in the gameplay that you are able to watch right now in the background is I'm using the paint thinner add-on that makes it so that when they drop pallets, I can teleport to them. Realistically, that is the better option of the two. Ultimately, that's what I would honestly recommend doing, along with the enduring as well. That's sort of essential when playing on New Freddy, because dream pallets are ultimately not going to detonate on anyone. Maybe you might catch a few people who are a bit new to it. Maybe they don't understand how the ability works, or maybe they don't read the patch. But people who are you know, above, like at least average to above average, like at this game, they're going to be able to counter the abilities very, very easily, and it's going to be essentially Freddy's going to be back to C to not, if not F, the F tier in no time. Maybe not all the way down to F tier. That maybe be a little bit extreme, but he's definitely going to drop down quite a bit. Now, they, especially from the PTB, they did actually drop down his cooldown from 5 to 7 seconds when using the snares. And as you can see right there, I was also trying to swap and start to throw out my ability, but I ended up swinging my melee when I'm trying to swap, so that kind of gets pretty annoying. So these glaring issues with Freddy as it is are going to be massive hindrances when playing this character, ultimately. Another thing I also have to mention, for me even looking at this gameplay actually, is the teleport, I believe doesn't really follow your target. So if you start teleporting and they run away, I don't think it follows them. I think it actually just puts you set in your position. Sort of like a nurse blink where you like kind of go forward and then you land right where you charged up to. I don't think it's sort of dynamic where it like follows, so that can also be a bit of a hindrance too. There's very minute things that most people may not notice, especially because they're very excited about the changes and the rework, and that Freddy's actually getting some attention. And that's fine. That's a good thing to be excited about. It's good to see the positives in what Dead by Daylight's doing. The problem that we're having is that they try to create updates that on the surface seem very good and very meaningful, but in reality are very minute. A good example was the ghostface buff in quotation marks, because all they did was split the abilities of the add-ons in half, put some in the base kit. So what that meant was, if you use those add-ons like you normally would have, it would just simply be exactly the same before the patch. And as I've stated, I was saying this even before, I don't consider it a buff if it only provides the same exact effect that it used to. This is going to be probably the same thing again. On paper, it's going to seem that we will have a really good killer, right? Probably way better than he was before, I will admit. You know, snares were very, very bad a lot of the time, and you were kind of worse off with snares some of the time because of how slow that it would make you and things like that. So thankfully they removed that, and the snares are pretty much just going to be the only thing that's actually good on Freddy now. And that's not to say that they can't make any changes, but I do believe that there should be some quality of life changes to the dream pallets. Now that also takes into account as well the alarm clocks. The alarm clocks are extremely accessible now, which is also another nerf to Freddy overall, because, you know, his ability is focused on them being asleep, and if they have this much accessibility to waking up, because before the patch he was able to have them go to like clocks across the map, and would make it a little bit more difficult to wake up, so that kind of gave you a little bit more of a chance to get some value. But nowadays they can go to any clock at anywhere they want, so they can easily just walk up and wake up instantly, and then you're back to playing, you know, the usual M1 game, which can be a, you know, massive problem, especially when you consider the fact that they also gain immunity when using the alarm clock, so you can't really you can't pull them back asleep. Another point that I can make as well is the fact that they also, not only do they have immunity, but when they wake up from, well, you know, not even like back before they had the rework, I should say, that when they would get hooked, that would wake them up. Now they wake up when they get downed. So that can be a bit of a problem. I would say as well, that can be a bit of a problem. Because if you think about it, say that you need to slug for pressure at any point, right? Like there's like a survivor near you that's probably going for a blind, and you don't want to get blinded. You want to chase them away, and they pick up that survivor that just got injured. Now you have to put them back asleep again, because knocking them down wakes them up, which then makes it more difficult to probably get more pressure and cause, you know, a little bit of an issue overall. And there's a lot of little things that, you know, and I get it, you know what I mean? It's a lot of little things that people maybe aren't noticing. But, you know, I'm here to kind of bring some light to it, and so we can all kind of have a discussion as to what we really think about Freddy currently. And all I have to say is that, you know, if you are interested, play Freddy yourself and get your own opinions on it. And try not to listen to what everybody, like what the usual opinion is going to be, because a lot of the time it's just objectively wrong. Like a good example was the ghostface buff. But with that being said, thank you for watching up to this point. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe to all the YouTube things. Consider following on Twitch if you want to see me play Freddy live or Ghostface, and stay tuned for more videos like this.